Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to 8th Standard Science online class. Dear children, I hope you all are safe by staying in your home and you are already watching all the videos, whatever the teachers is sent to you in all the subjects. Must be watch it and must be give more concentration on your studies. Because of this pandemic, we are unable to conduct physical classes. See children, in our surroundings, we will be observe so many things. In that, we will be classified as living things and non-living things. How we can easily classify these living things and non-living things is based on some metabolic activities that will be takes place in living things but not in non-living things. Right now, children? And one more thing, that living things that has been classified into again different categories. Before going to know that, suppose in case of any diseases that will be attacks to you, what you will be do, most probably you'll go for hospital and take the vaccinations or injections or medicine as per the doctor's advice. See here how these diseases will be caused to us is because of activity of microorganisms. Right now? So because of this microorganisms only. And one more example I will give you. How the milk will be converted into curd. So most probably your mother will be do the curd in your home right now. How it will be turns and how it will be. So when your mother will be boil that milk and add some amount of previous old curd into that milk and she will be left aside for few hours. After the few hours, what you are going to observe? Yes, your assumption is right, children, that milk is converted into curd right now. How this will be takes place? How it will be happen? And why this will be takes place, which means converting of milk into curdling. Yes, this is because of some microorganisms that will be helps to convert the milk into curd. The best example for this is lactobacillus. This is a kind of a bacteria that will be helps to convert the milk into curd. See dear children, I was given two examples to you. One is in a disease related and another one is converting milk into curdling. So as we compare to these two examples, we can generalize some of the microorganisms are very helpful to us and some of the microorganisms are very harmful to us. See here, these microorganisms, which are the microorganisms that will be harmful to us and what it will be causes to us and what kind of microorganisms that will be useful to us and their importance and where these are all we are used in our day-to-day life. These are the concepts that we are going to discuss in the lesson microorganisms. Yes, children. So microorganisms. So what do you mean by microorganisms and what are the characteristics of these microorganisms? See here, first characteristic of the microbes or microorganisms is, so microorganisms are very small organisms which cannot be seen with our naked I. So the microorganisms, the size of an organism, a structure, this is a very small in size and we cannot able to see through our naked eye or unaided eye, which means naked eye. And then how we can easily identify these microorganisms? We have to use some magnified lenses or magnified glasses or microscope. So by using the microscope or by using the magnified glasses only, we can easily identify these kinds of microorganisms. So what is the first characteristic of the microorganisms? Microorganisms are very small kind of an organism which cannot be seen with the naked eye. They can be seen only by using microscope or magnified lenses only. It is the first characteristic of microorganism. And the second one is microorganisms may be unicellular organisms or multicellular organism. Microorganisms may be unicellular or as well as multicellular organisms. So what do you mean by unicellular organisms? The organisms they having only one cell. The organism that having only one cell. These kind of organisms, what we call it as unicellular organisms. Then what do you mean by multicellular organisms? See children, multicellular organisms is nothing but the organisms that will be having more than one cell in the body. This we call it as multicellular organism. Could you able to give some examples for unicellular organisms? Most of all the microscopic organisms are unicellular organisms only. For example, amoeba, euglena, paramecium, and some of the bacteria and virus, these are all will becomes under unicellular organisms. Multicellular organisms means already we know that the organisms that are having more than one cell, human beings, plants, animals, these are all will becomes under multicellular organisms. Hope you understand the difference between unicellular and multicellular organisms. Yes. So here, some of the microorganisms that will be exhibit both unicellular and as well as some of the bacteria or microorganisms that will be shows multicellular characteristics also. And then these microorganisms find in all kinds of environments like ice, cold climate, hot climate, desert, marshy land, so it's nothing but a salty land. And even in the water also we will be identified, even in the hot water also we will be identified, in the air also we will be identify this kind of microorganisms, is it right, including our body inside. They also found inside the bodies of other organisms also. So which means these microorganisms entirely covered by our entire universe. So here these microorganisms are very useful to us, and as well as some of the microorganisms causes harm to us. And next one more very important thing or characteristic of the microorganism are these microorganisms may exist alone or in colonies. So here some of the microorganisms they will be individually they will be interact with other organisms, and that will be leads and it will be increases their population individually. And some of the microorganisms that will be present in colonies, which means group. See here in the below picture that you are observing some of the bacteria that we are observed under electronic microscope. So by using electronic microscope only we can easily identify the perfect shape of the bacteria and their internal structure and body design and everything. And in the compound microscope that we can easily identify the morphology just like a shape. See whatever the pictures that you are observing on your screen that is related to completely observed by the by using electronic microscope only children. So next we are move on to the next one, types of microorganisms. See here, based on the nature of the microorganisms that has been classified into majorly four types. Based on the nature of the microorganism, these microorganisms has been classified into four types. Which are those? Bacteria, fungi, algae and protozoans. Which are those children? Bacteria, fungi, algae and protozoans. These the major four types of microorganisms that has been classified based on the nature of their microorganisms. So what is the nature? What is the nature of bacteria? What is the nature of fungi and nature of algae and protozoans? So that we will be discussed later as per the schedule. And apart from these four types of the microorganisms, some viruses is also considered as microorganisms. Viruses also comes under the microorganism only, but some of the different characteristics that the virus has. That's why only they will be bifurcated and they didn't add it as a based on the nature of classification. See here. So then, based on the type of the microorganisms and nature of the microorganisms, they will be classified as four types. That is bacteria, fungi, algae, protozoans. And viruses also comes under microorganisms group only. They are different from other microorganisms. The viruses is totally different. Just like if you compare to the bacteria, fungi, algae, and protozoans, these viruses is totally different. Because why they will be considered as a difference, a different organism? Because they reproduce only in the body of host organisms. So which means whatever the virus is entered to our body or whatever the virus is entered to other organisms body, in that only the process of reproduction, the process of reproducing process will be takes place. Hence only this will be considered as a different kind of microorganisms and they do not included in the classification. So best examples for algae, fungi, protozoans that we are going to discuss here. So best example for algae is Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra is the best example. Fungi, bread mold, Penicillium, Aspergillus is the best example for fungi. If you come to the protozoans, amoeba, paramecium, euglena, these are all will becomes under protozoans. Then if you come to the virus, can you give me the best example for virus? Yes. Now because of this pandemic, we can say that COVID-19, it is also kind of virus children. We can say that there is also best example for virus. Right? No? Yes. So we already discussed about the types of microorganisms and just brief informations of examples related to the microorganisms. I hope you understand these are all the concepts children. So in the next class, we are going to discuss about more information regarding the classification of microorganisms, like what is the nature of bacteria and how it will be looks like, and what kind of reproductive and life process activities that will be held in bacteria, and what is the shape and structure of the bacteria, fungi, algae. These are all the concepts that we are going to discuss in the next class. Dear children, please stay home, stay healthy, and must and should wear the mask when you are going out, and maintain social distance or physical distance, and as well as wash your hands regularly by using soap or any alcoholic hand sanitizers. Please stay home, stay healthy, and be safe, children. Have a wonderful day, dear students. Thank you very much.